Welcome everybody back here at VeilofSound. Yes, surprise interview Tuesday, and once again, one of those wonderful Pelagic bands. And I'm very, very happy to have Lina and Lennart from Predatory Void here on the show. So thanks for joining.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Before we come to the pluck of the day, maybe both of you quickly, for the uninitiated amongst our viewers, say what you are doing in Predatory Void.
I play the guitar in the band.
And I sing.
Woman with such a strong voice, and she's like, and I sing. Okay, the pluck of the day. I already told you about it. We, all three of us, try to promote a band that we think needs a little bit more attention. I stayed within the Belgian reigns and realms, and I take Crouch.
Ah, yeah, awesome band. Yeah, we actually share a rehearsal space with them, and so we hear them quite often. And yeah, they're really good. I can back your choice.
Thank you. Well, those amongst our viewers who watch everything might want to check in a couple of weeks. Lina, Lennart, Lina, now you go first. Your pluck of the day.
Well, my usual pluck, I would say, is a band I've known since I think before 2010 even. It's a band from the Netherlands called Starve, and they have a great album called Wasteland, and I think it was released exactly in 2010. So it's kind of like a sludge and roll kind of thing. I really love this band. One of the first things that I actually discovered in the genre. And I used to sit on Tumblr and buy their records, like 7 inches and LP.
Okay.
And their merch as well.
So do you think you have like a complete Starve discography?
No, I think I don't have. I think they have like a split with. I don't know if I'm gonna say it right. Terzij de Horde of zoiets.
Terzij de Horde.
Yeah. Well, they have a split with them, but I don't have it. So.
Is it out on consoling?
I don't know.
Because if it's on consoling, I will try to get you a copy.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, one has to use one's connection, right? Lennart, for everybody, before we start the interview, I always say, like, don't pluck a band that you're in. With Mr. Bossu, that's gonna be difficult because he's a workaholic.
But there are still enough bands that I'm not in as well, I would say. No, it's actually I just discovered this band and song a couple of days ago through an Instagram story of James from Altar of Plagues, and it's this band. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, Kekt Arek or something. It's like a Ukrainian black metal artist. That's
yeah.
Sacred Bones. Yeah, and he just released a song with a vocal feature from Bloody or something, and that really, like that kind of stuff. That's like a little bit genre bending, or that sparks my interests a lot. So that's something I've been enjoying the last 2 days or something.
Yeah, he's gonna have a new album out, I think in March.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a single released ahead of the album or something. That's
So if you hear this, I mean, like, we will, of course, put you in our show notes and everything. But if you hear this, my Ukrainian friend, I'm still waiting for an interview with you. That's one of those bands where I was like, I gotta get him. As an icebreaker, I want to ask both of you, do you know what a gapless playback on CDs is?
I guess there's when there's no silent space in between the tracks.
Yeah. Do you know why I asked?
Not really.
Because you threw away the the playback between the first two songs on your new EP, which is the reason why we're here, Atoned and Metamorphosis. Between Make Me Whole and New Moon, there is no silence.
It's
basically Lina is singing over this 1 or 2 seconds of gap. Is that, I mean, like, that is of course intentional, right?
Yeah, the thing was conceived as more or less as one song, but it seemed to me that I found the idea nice that you can, like, if you just want to hear the second track, that you can go to it immediately. But compositionally it was like one thing originally. Yeah.
And then at the same time, you also completely overdid this playback between songs 3 and 4, because between Peeling Cycle and Contemplation in Time, there is like 6 seconds of silence.
I have to say that I wasn't aware of that. That big gap.
But here is my question, and I think that is easier to answer. Is it important for you to use silence and sound as not two distinct opponents, but as supplements, as things that need to go together?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. That if you have some like silence and some space in some parts, that you can make more impact with the music then. So I'm definitely in favor of some silence here and there. That's true.
And Lina, here you come into play as the main vocalist in Predatory Void. Sometimes you use that for as a place for your vocals, but that is nothing that you automatically do when writing a song, right? So it's not, okay, we need a moment of break so Lina can sing. It's something that comes later, isn't it?
Yeah, because mostly I receive like music when it's, I wouldn't say done, but like there is a clear like framework of a song. So then I start looking for the right moments where it can be like an extension of music or like some kind of a highlight in the song. And most of the time I like in most of the time now I do deliberately. So I mean, we also talk about it with the band, so that it's kind of balanced how it's placed. My vocals are placed within the music. But before, I come from like a hardcore scene, and then I did sing in a grindcore band. So it's like more of fill all the gaps approach. So as much vocals, as much like attack as possible. And in the beginning, it was really hard for me to kind of like not write lyrics for every single I don't know, like strike of a symbol or something, you know what I mean? So like
it's something that Johnny Whitney from Blood Brothers told us a few weeks ago, that for him it was most difficult, as he said it, to shut the fuck up. But it's also the way that, and here I come back to this little thing between Make Me Whole and New Moon. It's also a good position to really get your ideas across, right? Because the last 3 words that one hears on Make Me Whole is exactly that. So you also, as you said, you deliberately use that to get some points across.
I don't know. I think we don't really think about that much in the process, right? Mm-hmm. We just do what feels right, and then if you think that it also feels right, then we achieve our goal, I guess.
And now let's come to the topic of the record, Metamorphosis. First of all, I have a question, because when I looked at the 4 tracks on the EP, I had I had the feeling as if it was like 4 phases of a metamorphosis.
Could be.
I also explained what I thought like Make Me Whole is the attempt to remain as it is. New Moon is, okay, I need to change. Peeling cycle is, okay, now I am changing, and contemplation in time is the reflection of my change.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it makes sense.
Now it does sound like it makes sense.
But I mean, like, is there a real concept behind those 4 songs that for you encompasses all of them?
Yeah, definitely. There, like, the whole record is, I mean, when I write lyrics, I always try to think of a concept of like themes that work together. And like you can't fit all your ideas in one song. So like kind of distilling and separating it is good in my eyes. But I think, yeah, like mostly I listen to music and then kind of try to build up the associations. Or if I have like some lyric bundle that's lying around that perfectly fits, then I'll use that. Here it was about Metamorphosis, because like when I heard the new songs that Lennart was working on, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be totally different. And in the beginning, I didn't know what to do with them, to be honest. So then, like, I had some sketches, like, of text, some notes that I had that kind of fit the new, I don't know, the new vision, and the little bit different approach. And in the end, when I put all of them together, 4 of them, I was like, yeah, that's it. So it's kind of, but it's nice that you actually kind of interpreted it as a concept. In a way, it is, but I think it's like globally for us, this is like a change.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's also a change when it comes to lineup, right? So you have a new member in the band.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how did that come about, Lennart?
Well, before we were Tim was our bass player, who also I used to play in Amen Ra. But he got like busier and busier with his own projects, and at a certain point, yeah, it was like there were just too many shows he missed and things like that. So he decided to take a step back. And yeah, shortly before that, I had seen our new bass player Chris with her own band at a show, and I was like, that might be an interesting addition, because it was Chris is someone who has like a bit of a different background, not that much in heavy music, whereas all the rest of us, the 4 of us. Are all like really hardcore metal, completely that background. So it's kind of an interesting addition. And I also think that the fact that we can have like the 2 vocalists now is also something that's quite promising for the future.
Yeah, because it also is audible on the new record that sometimes we have like these 2 distinctly different female voices. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then, Lina, you have already mentioned vision. And that is something that struck me. One of you guys seems to have a love for antique statues, because on both of your records, we have busts or statues. And to not be too much joking, but there seems to be a vision for what also a Predatory Void record needs to look like. It seems to have like some kind of gray figure, let's say a statue, and you have a red or blood red foreground. Is that an incident?
It's like I would say when we did our first album, with Sven is the artist behind the cover, and there it was. I think we chose the image because it's very much, to me at that point, reflected the music. He makes like these collages out of things, and I felt like musically that was also a bit what I did. Like I took basically some stuff that I have like in that's just my musical taste, and threw it together. Sometimes in a bit of a rudimentary way, like not always they're not always like beautifully structured songs, but sometimes more like linear, part after part. And in that sense, the collage artwork worked very well. And with this record, because there was already like quite a metamorphosis and a change in the music, I was like, maybe I do want to, like, maybe we can keep some continuity so that people can still see that this is still the same band. And in that was the main reason to go back to Sven and work with him again in something that's like not completely different from what people expect from us, I guess. Yeah.
But you do know that if you do that for a third time, then you have a corporate identity.
Yeah, I think I would guess that the third release will look a bit differently.
I mean, like Lennart, of course, you come from a band most of us know, like Amen Ra, and they have a certain kind of corporate identity when it comes to the covers. I mean, like we have to agree, it is in some ways a positive thing, because people see the cover of a record and they immediately know, okay, this is Amen Ra. Yeah, maybe with the exception of the Dorn, but otherwise, like it's clear. So it can be a beneficial part. But it's interesting that you say, okay, we did this twice, now we have to change. And that change aspect, that is also something that struck me when I looked at, again, some of the songs and some of the lyrics. I have a question. A few years ago in the business world, there came a slogan, and I would like you to ask whether you agree with it. Change is the new normal.
I would maybe like reluctantly agree with it. Not that I like it, but I do feel like things have changed. Like in the music business, let's say, things have changed a lot in the past 10 years, and I sometimes barely recognize the landscape anymore. So yeah.
Now, would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know, like there are a lot of positive changes, but as an old fart, some things I don't like. Also. But
that's the young woman. Okay, yeah, but I know what you mean. Which
but
thing?
I embrace change personally. Like I mean, like last 10 years, I think it's been a personal journey for me in many aspects, and like I changed and I like how I changed. So like judging from like personal experience, I welcome it, to be honest.
Yeah, and then we're back at this metamorphosis, right? And it's interesting to see, because I think that a lot of people, especially conservatives, I'm not even talking about the right-wing idiots, but the conservatives, they think that we have to protect everything that there is. But let's be honest. I mean, like the change in the last 10 years was probably one of the most rapid and also all encompassing changes we've ever witnessed, also due to the pandemic. But I think that change in itself is a constant, because I mean, like otherwise we wouldn't grow. And when listening to Atoned and Metamorphosis, there is of course a musical growth, but it's very hard for me to pinpoint. Maybe when looking at the songwriting process, we can come to that. So, Lennart, how did you write these 4 new songs in comparison to the ones on 7 Keys to the Discomfort of Being?
It kind of started with the New Moon song that just came out like relatively quickly after having written the first album, and it kind of that is an example of a song that has a bit of more of a traditional song structure, and it made me like the album were songs that were quite long, like more like 7-8 minutes, 10 minutes sometimes, and because this band does not have this like set tradition like some of my other bands yet, I felt like I can do more of just what I feel like, and I felt like making songs that were a bit more like to the point, faster, like shorter, and that's kind of how it came about. Like and also we chose to do an EP instead of an album, also because I didn't feel like waiting for having written a whole album. I just wanted to like show people that we are still an active band, and kind of introduce Chris a little bit to the audience as well, and that's a bit the thing behind it.
Interesting that you say that you are still an active band. I mean, like the last thing that we got from you was the Live at Dunk. That's not even 2 years ago. Maybe that is also one part of a change. Do you feel as if nowadays you have to produce more constantly?
I do kind of feel that pressure. Yeah. I'll let you talk, Lina.
But no, I feel like in many aspects like you're being pushed to create constantly. But the thing is, the more you make, the less of like a quality product it is. In many cases, I think there are talented people who just whip it out and everything is perfect, 5-star, whatever. But like for me personally, I'd rather cook for a bit longer to present something like we're all proud of, you know.
So have you already been cooking again? Are there already new songs in the pipeline?
What's there now is like things that
you have to say your vocalist is guilty of leading me into this question.
It's more stuff that was already there also when we did the EP, but that we chose to leave off EP, and I think we're gonna take it from there and see where it leads.
It's also something that I thought about in the context of metamorphosis and change, and that is identity. Is it hard? I mean, like, no, for you it's probably not hard at all. You say Predatory Void is Predatory Void, but for a lot of people who listen to the music and who try to pinpoint a band into a whole, it's very, very difficult, because we sometimes have like black metal parts, we have some parts which are clearly post metal, and sometimes I also have a feeling as if we have something that is completely away from that. Sometimes I have like thoughts where I'm like, okay, this could also be a harder part on a Wolven Nest record, so something like more psychedelic. Is this maybe the identity of Predatory Void, not being in one niche exactly, but always in between?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice, to be honest.
I can imagine. I mean, like, it has an advantage of not being in one genre. You don't always have to write the same shit, right? Of course, yeah.
Yeah, actually, there was a guy online who was I think he was reviewing our EP, and he made a meme that I really like.
Yeah. And I like the other cool stuff. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So And I was like, yeah, goddamn, it's like that's the thing. That's the gist of it all.
Yeah.
Totally. Because as I said, I mean, like writing about music, people love to have like a certain box into which they can put bands. But I think for Predatory Void, it's very, very difficult. At the same time, it's also a very cool thing because you can appeal to a lot of bands, scenes, and everything like that. Is that also like a benefit to you that you can play with nearly everybody?
I like.
Apart from John Denver, of course.
Theoretical benefit, I think, but I see that in practice, it's not that we're on that like many different lineups or something. I see that we're still mostly put together with bands that sound pretty much like us or something. But theoretically it would be, and I hope it will be. But yeah, it's not. It's definitely also not an intentional thing. It's like really just a reflection of our taste, I think, and just us, not trying to limit ourselves to a very specific subgenre. Yeah.
So, if both of you could choose a band that you would like to tour or play one show with, which one would it be?
Lina?
I will say a very stupid thing. I think like it's a band that Lennart introduced me to. Dream Unending. Why not?
Yeah, that's a cool one.
That would be cool. I love them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say Converge because I've been listening to their album.
To the new one.
Yeah, to the new one in the last couple of days, and they kind of blew me away again. Like after, it amazes me how like after all those years they can still like do that and have that effect. So yeah.
And also the way that they come up with new stuff. The new record definitely still sounds a lot like Converge, but there are also moments when you're like, okay, that really surprises me in a positive way.
Exactly. Yeah. And they had overall had a big influence on me as a musician throughout my career, I think.
And I also like those two choices because I think they are not that impossible. It's not like I would like to open for Metallica or some stuff like that. Exactly. Like that. Although that would be interesting to see how the Metallica fans react to Predatory Void.
I would.
So first of all, thanks for all the insight into the new record. But nobody leaves the VeilofSound interview without having to go through the quick fire round at the end. I will always give you two alternatives, and you have to choose one of them, and maybe give a short explanation for your choice. Let's start off by staying in Belgium. You get to choose. Where would you rather play? The main stage at Rockherk or one of the side stages at Turnhout and Werchter?
Rockherk.
Yeah. Rockherk is like a cool smaller festival that has like a place in our hearts. I think I've played there a bunch of times with my different bands, and it's something special. Werchter is of course also special, but it's more of a huge mainstream thing. So maybe we choose the coziness of Herk.
And I have to say that Rockherk, I've been there a couple of times when I was still living in Cologne. Always cool lineups in the middle of summer, so it's always usually cool weather, and it's just really, as you said, it's really cozy, definitely. Let's stick to the idea of festivals. Arctangent in Bristol or Glastonbury?
You answer because I've never been there.
Yeah.
So.
I have also I'm kind of repeating myself, but I also have a good good memories of Arctangent, the times I've played there, and I'm actually playing there with Oathbreaker this year, so very much looking forward to be back there. Never been to Glastonbury, and I don't really have a clear opinion on that.
Lennart, I'm very, very happy that you fell for my trap, but I have to ask this. I have to. Otherwise, I will die tonight. Are we just touring, or is there something else coming with Oathbreaker?
There are really, like, at this point, there are no plans yet to do something else. Like, it's just playing now a couple of times, and it's really still, it's up for debate among us.
Totally cool.
Yeah,
totally cool. And I can also understand. And I can also understand that one just wants to test the waters first. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But you do know that I had to ask.
Yeah, I understand. And thank you.
It's a band that no one has ever heard of. So, so we'll come to bands that are often put as references, or that are sometimes put as references for Predatory Void. I don't always see that, but two bands that I've read a couple of times as a comparison to you are Celeste from France and LLNN from Denmark. Which one would you rather take as a compliment? I mean, like, of course, you take both as a compliment. I get that, but which one is more to your liking, to your personal taste?
Me personally,
I think that's difficult.
Bad, but I don't know them that well. So,
very diplomatic answer over here.
So I'm gonna leave it to Lina, this one.
Oh yeah, now you have to answer because you have to answer the other one.
Yeah, should I plead the fifth, maybe?
No, you've already done that once. You said, like, okay, I cannot answer. So no.
No, I think I've seen Celeste live. It was quite amazing. And I know them much better musically than the other band, so I would go with Celeste.
I have two more. And I hate the term female fronted. Female fronted is not a genre for anybody out there. It's not a genre. Fuck that. But I chose two bands with female vocalists, very, very different ones. And I would like to know which one as a band, not just because of the vocalist, but as a band you like more. Ginger or The Gathering when they had Anneke van Giersbergen?
I would say The Gathering, because it's like it takes me back to my youth, and I have it was a good time. Ginger I know less. I'm sure that they're amazing, but as an old guy, I have to say The Gathering.
Me too.
Yeah, I would say the same. Like, stylistically, Ginger is very much out of my style radius of things that I listen to.
Mm-hmm. And the last one, two of the cornerstones of your new label, Pelagic Records. You get to choose between Mono and The Ocean.
I would go with Mono.
I have to say The Ocean because he's our boss, now.
Well, I think Robin is professional enough to understand that you don't have to. But Lennart, would that in general be your choice?
No, to be honest, I know Mono a lot better, so I would also say Mono. That's the honest truth.
And as I said, I'm very sure, Robin, when you hear this, don't throw them off the roster. Good band, keep them. So Lina, Lennart, thanks for all the insights into the record. Thanks for the honest answers. And yes, I have to leave you with one thing, because that was like for the nerd in me. Do you know that there is a literary connection between your band and the man, the antique writer, who came up with the book Metamorphoses?
No.
Antique writer.
Yeah.
I immediately think of Kafka, but not that antique, I think, right?
Ovid. O-V-I-D.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just twist it a little bit and you have void.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's
okay,
clever.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I took philosophy classes decades ago, so I yeah. But it's nice. I would like to refresh my memory on that, actually. Maybe some insights.
But in a translated version, not in the Latin original.
Yeah.
I used to study Latin as well, but now I can't read or write anything anymore.
So, my lady, my gentleman, enjoy the rest of your weekend. It was very nice talking to you, and I hope to see you on stage again very, very soon. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.